For me personally, I think my realism improved once I started to use the grit method. Now, 12 years ago, when I picked up graphite pencils and started kind of this journey of mine, I worked exclusively on smaller sizes, A5, A4, and A3 to me was a large drawing. So those were my detailed drawings. Now, fast forward 12 years later, and I'm working on much larger drawings, much more detailed, very intricate, a very unique set of values that changes very quickly and very slightly within a small area. So back then I used the trace method. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's a very easy way to learn a form, a shape, and I think a lot of artists needs to kind of utilize that method, especially if the line work is not your favorite part, which to me it was not back then. Now with the larger drawings, I obviously needed a different way to get my lines on the paper and ensure that I have correct proportions and that everything is where they should be. So the easiest way to do that is to use the grit method. Now for these larger drawings, my grit size is the same. It's a centimeter blocks. So I can easily divide up all my drawings and my references centimeter by centimeter. Now in this video, this space is actually 7 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So in the grand scheme of things, it's quite a small area for this large drawing. And to me, it's probably this Trevi Fountain and its facade and its statues is the smallest areas I've worked where a lot of details go in. So these areas are jam-packed with scenes and figures and details, and to me it's kind of like a micro drawing in a sense. So the grid really helps in these areas. So I treat each centimeter block as its own entity, and that just helps me to make sure that everything goes where they should. It helps me to proportion out the lines and know which way they go and in which direction they go. And then once I'm starting to fill in my values, those grids disappear. But then I'm sure that I've laid down the correct foundation. The lines are where they should be. Everything's proportioned out. And I can just go with the values of the reference to get out the drawing and fill everything in as it should. So these are centimeter drawings within a very larger drawing, and it just makes it easier to break it down. So you zone in for those initial line work, and then you zoom out once everything starts to fill in and you need to see the bigger picture to get the values correct.